Welcome to cooking cheap, easy, and tasty meals. Okay, today we're going to make molasses cookies. We're going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. 1, 2. To that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. It's half, 3/4. Make sure I get all of it out. Now we're going to add the spices. We add a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, heaping teaspoons I might add. I made sure because it really adds to the flavor. I'm going to add 6 grinds of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of ground ginger. If you use fresh ginger, you probably want to use a lot less. Maybe 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger, because otherwise it's going to be really intense. Add a half a teaspoon of ground cardamon. And finally, I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. And I'm going to whisk them together, just to get them all mixed up. Smells great, by the way. Cloves and cinnamon and ginger, cardamom. Pretty good. Put that aside and make the wet ingredients. I'm going to put 1½ sticks of butter, this is unsalted butter, into a large bowl. And since I didn't get it out to let it get soft on its own, because it's really too cool in the house for that to happen, I'm going to put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds and see if that's enough. Okay, it ended up taking a whole minute to get it to that point. Depending on how cold your house is and how cold the butter is, be aware. Now I'm going to cream the butter and sugar together, and I need 1/2 cup packed brown sugar. We're going to cream these together. Let's beat it until it's light and fluffy, so I'm going to beat it a little bit more, but I'm not sure that really makes that much difference. I guess it depends on what you want your cookies to be like. So I'm going to give it a little bit more. I just added 1/3 cup of Steen's molasses. Steen's is a local Louisiana product. It's made in Abbeville, Louisiana, and it's something we've always used because it's from here. But it's messy. Just take 1/3 cup, spray it with a little oil, and it'll make it easier to get out. I added 1 egg, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Now I'm going to mix all these together. I'm going to add in the flour mixture, a little bit at a time. I wanted to know this smells really good. Molasses has a smell of its own. It just reaches out. And then the ginger and the cloves, cinnamon, it's really something. I'm going to scrape down the beaters and make sure it's mixed well enough. Okay, looks like it's mixed pretty well. No flour left over. I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap, put it in the refrigerator for about an hour. I'm going to prepare the cookies for baking. The dough has been in the refrigerator, covered, for several hours. So I'm going to take my cookie scoop and get cookies out. Now, I'm going to roll these and dip them into granulated sugar and put them on the pan. I sprayed this with a little oil to make it easier to get the cookies out. I may have to respray it occasionally, but I'm going to put them in here and roll them around and get a little sugar coating on them. I don't know how much these cookies are going to spread. Many times as you make them, it seems like they differ every time. We'll be generous with the spacing for them. Okay, I'm going to go there. I'm pressing down to really get this coated in the sugar. The dough is really stiff. I'm not surprised with the molasses and the sugar, and it's not terribly sticky, but it is rather stiff. These are going to cook for probably 12 to 15 minutes. I'm guessing closer to 15 because my oven is running a little cool because the house is cool. You'll have to experience that with your own oven. You'll have to use your own experience. So that's about 9 cookies. That's not a whole lot, but let's see how they work, and maybe in the next batch I can put more. Maybe these won't spread as much as I'm guessing that they will. And I'm going to put them in the oven when the oven comes to temperature. It's still preheating. I took these out of the oven about 5 minutes ago to let them cool, and they've spread nicely. They didn't get too big, so I'm going to take them off and actually let them cool. Well, I don't know. They probably will come off on their own now. They're pretty sturdy. Okay, these did take the full 15 minutes. We're going to put a few more on here this time because it appears they did not take as much space as I thought they would. Maybe I'll go here, 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 here. Looks like we're going to get a little less than 30. I assume that this recipe was probably originally designed to do 2 dozen, since 30 is such an odd number. But I probably made them a little smaller or irregular sized. I might as well do the rest at the end. Okay, I'm going to put those in the oven. This time I'm going to cook them for the full 15 minutes and not open the oven at all to look. Okay, these came out very nicely. They're firm, they cracked properly. They look like molasses cookies. They smell like molasses cookies. They're pretty good. These will be excellent to eat with hot chocolate or tea or whatever you like to have your cookies with. I'll be back when the next batch is done. The last batch of cookies have come out. I've let them sit for about 5 minutes, and sure enough, they spread, but they didn't really spread that badly. So I'm going to go ahead and pick them up and put them over here. My scoop is not working that well. Guess it needs a little room to get started. Okay, so we've got 4 more to do, so I'm going ahead and cook them, and then I'll be finished. We're going to do some testing for the flavor. Pretty sure they're going to taste the same as the last time I made them. Okay, the last 4 came out of the oven, and we got 27 cookies out of this recipe. 3 of them have somehow disappeared, but we tested them and they were fine. This is not a super sweet cookie, even though it's dipped in sugar. The molasses just gives it a very round taste. It's sweet, but not too sweet, but a full flavor. The molasses is not overly strong, but it does make a difference to the overall flavor. It may be a good dipping cookie. They have little cracks in them, which would certainly hold a little of whatever you do, milk or hot chocolate. But I think you'll like the cookie. I hope you enjoy them. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give us a like. Thank you.